So today, hey, welcome everybody. I'm here with Mr. T. We were just briefly discussing a broad topic, in which is a topic of conversation amongst many home buyers, sellers, even everybody in society, and that's basically the supply chain. And we were reviewing many articles, and the one article that we came across, what was it? America is what?
Is running out of everything.
America is running out of everything. And if you've been to any big market stores lately, or even the supermarket for that matter, or if you're in the business of manufacturing, goods are not to be had. And I believe this is affecting the real estate market as well. And thus, that's why it is taking so long for new homes to be completed.
Exactly.
And that is having a waterfall effect throughout the entire industry. There are so many expectations that people are predicting across the board, which I don't know how accurate they can or will be, because this is something we haven't encountered as not only the American society, but it's a global society that has affected everything. So, Mr. T, what experiences have you faced or have encountered with home buyers and sellers, and any suggestions you can offer to them coming up in the new year?
Yes, thank you, JD. I got to tell you, it's just personally myself. I've never seen anything like this. This is an unknown, what they call uncharted territories. None of us have gone through this before. It's not a hurricane.
No.
It's not a, tornado. But when you go to the store, it sure feels like it. I went to buy simple Christmas lights the other day.
What color they have? Pink?
The LED. The LED, I walked into Home Depot, and guess what? The shelves were empty. My wife is decorating the Christmas tree. She says, honey, let's go find a skirt for the tree and get some decorations, to fill the tree. Empty.
Nothing.
We went to Michael's. We went to Hobby Lobby. Really, like nothing of high quality grade. Like, even the low, even medium.
The
There's just nothing there.
Product.
The stuff that's there, it's not really for what you would have found 3 years ago.
Yeah. Agreed.
So the same thing is happening with food, furniture, appliances.
You were mentioning the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
There's a shortage of Christmas trees. Okay. And obviously, Christmas trees also provide lumber.
Yeah.
Okay. So for people looking to get a natural Christmas tree this year, you may have to opt out and buy a artificial one, because lack of trees. And also that's
I never thought about that.
becoming lack of lumber, right? And that lack of lumber this past year, in which we'll get into, has taken the price of a home and increased it by nearly $40,000. That's outrageous. And so as a realtor, what do you tell to home buyers when a year ago it was maybe $200,000, and a year later, exact same property, same goods, nothing different. Now it's $250,000.
No, try 400.
Ouch.
So actually, something like that. They've gone up like 30% in 1 year.
And that's
in
unreal.
some areas.
So maybe to answer some of the questions for some of these home buyers, I do know in regard to the lumber, the majority of the lumber that we receive is from up north, from Canada. And if people aren't aware of this, there had been tariffs placed on Canadian exports prior to the pandemic, in which pushed up those prices. Now, once that pandemic hit, keep in mind those borders were then closed. No business transactions were occurring. Manufacturing plants up north in Canada were closing down. Workers were going home. Back supply was being backlogged. And at this time, we didn't know how long because everybody was making rules up as we were going. Now we're seeing the backlash of everything. And it's pretty scary. So when lumber prices started to come down from the summer highs, other things started going up. So you have some relatively savings on certain items, but increased prices on other items.
Yes. All I can tell you and our listeners, and thank you for listening to my podcast with my great host here.
Thank you.
So all I can tell you, if you see something you like and it's there and you want it,
better grab
and
it.
you can buy it, buy it. If you need to hire a painter and his price is okay and he can do it and he has the supplies, do it. Because even paint, labor, everything has gone up and there's a shortage on everything. Bottled water, I'm hearing furniture. Furniture is foam and lumber, and there's a shortage on that. So everything we're doing on daily basis is just being affected. So you have to be very patient. So you go buy toilet paper. It's not there. They say, hey, go to Target. You go to Target. Oh yeah, they have toilet paper. Let me pick up some medicine. You go to the counter. The guy says, sorry, we're out of.
Or they limit you.
So you have to
limit to the amount you can buy.
No, so you have to make now this one errand that you went to run an errand, pick up some things, it'll turn into an all-day journey because you'll have to literally travel store to stores, town to town to get just a basic thing.
Normal region.
A lot of third world countries have been going through that for years. They're used to it. We're not. This is America. So America is running out of everything. And the prices are soaring. So if you're a person that's going to rent, the price of the rentals are just, the rentals are going to the roof.
Yeah, they anticipate the cost of rentals to increase almost twofold next year than the cost of home prices.
Yeah, and we don't mean to be sobbing here, but or come across bad news, but
no, but that's
just
the reality
good news.
Of
It's reality is if you see something and you want something, including a house, and it's decent and you can do it, because next year is going to be worse. From what I'm hearing, this is going to get even worse before it gets any better. It looks like the pandemic is really 50% gone, but it's still here, still scaring people, still keeping a lot of people from hiring people or from traveling. Restaurants, wherever you go, they still are they're not fully staffed.
Yeah, and back to the goods for, besides the lumber, excuse me, we're talking about, the appliances. And I believe there was a backlog of close to 3.8 billion of goods in just the appliances alone during the period of the pandemic. And, there's no easy way to solve this, but as what Lee said, if you see something you like, you better grab it. And that's why a lot of these houses are not staying on the market.
Yeah, and back to that, one of the other reasons to grab it is if you don't grab it today, you come back tomorrow, it's going to be 30% higher.
Yeah.
So I just met with my landscaping guys. They're trimming some trees for us and this and that, and he comes at me with a price that's 50% more than what he charged 6 months ago. And he says, I'm sorry, Lee. Everything is, he says, my blades, my chainsaw blades have doubled. Gas prices are high. My laborers, they raise their prices. They need money.
And then where does it end then? Because then everybody will start.
Yeah. He says, I got to take these to the dump. It was so much, and now it's double. He says, so I'm sorry, I have to pass it on to you. And he says, I'm giving you a break. So I also, on one of my investment properties, I went to change an air conditioning unit.
Mm-hmm.
a 2-ton AC that was going for like $2,000 a year and a half ago is now $4,500. I mean, it's gone up a good. I mean, let's not exaggerate. He told me, he says, Lee, we've had 5 price increases this year, and each time was 7 to 10%. He says, so you multiply the 5 times 8 is 50%. Because I told him, you just put AC for me in a house 6 months ago, and you charged me $4,500 for 3.5
Time
4
now.
times. He says, yeah, well, that would be $7,000 now in just 6 months. So again, I wish I had changed more of or done more stuff with the air conditioning, because it's now double.
Well, I'm
Everything
still
is
waiting
just-
for my income to double.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
And I think that's that's another question or another topic we can cover another day. But in regard to, the supply chain, I know next week on your show, you're going to have a gentleman by the name of Billy Taylor. I know he was a former executive for Goodyear Tires, and he was head of their global manufacturing, in which he's going to go into some specifics, because he recently just bought a new home in Texas last week. And I know in that next episode next week, he'll be discussing that. But for people who are currently in a home right now and they're indecisive, it's coming up on the holiday time. People are going to be sitting together with family members. Table talk is going to be a topic. All right. Mom and dad, grandma and grandpa are going to be around. Hey, we're looking to buy a new home. What should we do? We're looking to sell a new home. Considering everything that we just discussed regarding the supply chain, would you recommend somebody buying? Okay, you have an individual who says, Lee, I want to buy a brand new build. I don't want to move into an existing home. I want to build from scratch up. But we have a time frame of 18 months. How do you work with a circumstance as such?
That's kind of still possible to make happen. But, they have to sell their house eventually. There's a lot of, but let's say they don't have a house they can buy right now.
Mm-hmm.
The builders, I mean, right now, today, I can tell you, they can probably make that happen. 6 months from now, I don't know.
We don't know.
Just depends. And also the way the prices are going up. I'm seeing everything is heading like $200 a square foot, on average. 2,000 square foot with a pool is running about $450. It's an average home.
Yeah.
In Port Orange area here,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit up, down, west.
Well, I remember, yes.
But, the pool prices. So this is what happens when we put a pool home on the market right now. Again, because of the supplies, they cannot get pool pumps. They cannot get, rebar. They cannot get the concrete.
I was going to say, I remember years ago,
Yeah.
maybe 5 years ago, there was a concrete problem around here.
The cages for the pools,
Yeah.
they cannot get those. It's crazy. So it's taken, a pool will take 6 months to a year now to build.
Mm.
So, and the price on it, a 15 by 30 pool, I want to say you could build just a basic 40 to 50. So it's now 65 to 95.
Ooh, jeez.
If you're doing a spa, pavers, you want
gonna
some
increase.
fountains, stuff, you're heading 80,000,
100,000,
75, 80.
Yeah.
And depending how large of a screen you want, if they find it, if they
Right.
can build the cage for you. So this is why when we put a pool home on the market, it goes, because an appraiser gives you 40,000 for a pool, tops.
Yeah.
30 to 40 used to be 20. Now they're like, okay, the price of pools. So they've adjusted to like 30,000 credit for a pool, 30, 40. But when a buyer goes to a new builder, the builder says, we're not doing pools. You can put your pool in after the closing. Buyer says, okay, I'll shop for a pool.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be more than 40 or 50. So, you buy the house for 400, now you go put the pool in, it's 80, 70. So when a buyer is looking at a resale, let's say you're buying a house and it's 450, it's 2,000 square feet with a pool. You're actually not doing bad because there's a pool there that costs you 70 or 80, and you're paying less than 200 for the house, so per square foot. So all depending, what you're buying. Of course, there's new. So in some of our communities, even we as realtors are shocked what the homes are coming in on the market and how fast they're selling, and they're all basically going over asking. So over asking, and they're already being priced up there and
above.
Somebody will come price over. They're saying it's slowing down. It's slowing down because there's no inventory.
Yeah, I mean,
so we need inventory, guys. If you want to sell, call me.
Right, yeah.
We'll sell
Give
it.
Shout out to Mr. T.
I bet you we'll sell it in 5 minutes.
Absolutely, maybe 6 minutes if it's a slow day.
But yeah, folks, just take it. Just have fun with this. It's going to go another year or so.
And during your holiday break, if you're having those conversations, definitely give Lee a call because he's definitely well informative and a book of knowledge when it comes to this. He'll get you into the right home, most definitely. But moving on to, additional things, I know they were talking about, rental prices, and I know in this area there's just an absorbent amount of, it seems, apartment complexes that they're putting up. My concern is, where are these people going to work? Is that something that you, as a realtor, observe? I have noticed just driving up and down our main strip here, new complex after a new complex.
They're all working online thanks to the internet.
Well,
the power of internet. There's no more bricks and mortar needed. They actually monitor you on your laptop, how many minutes you're on there, what you're doing.
If you fall asleep.
And you work, and there's a housing shortage. I mean, these guys know what they're doing. They're building apartments up and down 95 and I-4.
I know. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and we got the Amazon coming. And
sure, the marketplace, the Amazon warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
But, once things pick up, there is also mentioning that new home builders, I have to find the article here. We got so much articles. It's unbelievable the information you can find on this about the supply chain. But, once things get back to normal, they're talking home builders, they're going to be building 3 times the rate they had once prior to the pandemic. So then at that point in time, you're kind of looking at, quality care. And that's something we can talk into in the future, but they're anticipating once things get back up and running, which they anticipate early 2023, they're going to be building it 2 to 3 times they are now.
Yeah, and please keep in mind interest rates has a lot to do with also with this peak in real estate. It's not just low inventory. So we have a mix of buyers, and a lot of them, like just about 2-3 weeks ago, the interest rates went up a little bit, and people panicked and jumped in and bought. So this third quarter, we went crazy. This third and fourth quarter, the prices just went crazy. After summer, after June, this third and fourth quarter for real estate, we had a massive jump because people realized that the rates are low. I'm going to get in and get me a bigger house with the same payment as if it was 6% or 5% or 4%. We were in the 2s. And so this, just 2 weeks ago, it jumped a little bit. Everybody jumped in, but then it went back down. And they're predicting it will be higher next year. The rates will go up, but it's not going to
be a dramatic
It's still going to be behind historical low rates.
And see,
so
they even
buy. I mean, if you can buy, but buy careful and make sure you're not really overpaying, which you are. But this is what happens with real estate, JDs. If you remember when we had the crash, the values went up so high, and then it crashed. But that was a different type of a market.
Correct. Yeah.
We had people buying homes that had no business buying. So they already had a home with a big mortgage. Then they even got a second mortgage, and they became investors. Oh, I'm going to go get a line on my house, put it down on another house. And then they got no. And then I'm going to buy a boat. I have another 100,000 left. I'll take that and get a boat and a new car. So they buried themselves in debt.
Debt.
And then a lot of these were adjustable rates. So, and they all jumped in 2 years. And then they all were like, it jumped from that low 3% or interest only. Now you have to pay the whole mortgage. And all of that caused a big crash. They just lent to too many people that did not qualify. This particular market we are in is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is cash buyers. A lot of them are from over, up north or wherever. They have money. They have great jobs. They're all established, husband, wife, working, 2, 3 kids, and each are making 100 or more.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole environment has changed. So now we got 2 parents. They both are making great money. They're young. They're in their 30s or close to that, give or take. So we have those groups, and they have no problem buying a 1,800 square foot house, paying $400 for it, because with the low rate, it's a small payment. It's like $2,000. Oh yeah, honey, we can afford that. And they make them. They say put 20% down, 10% down, 5% down.
And they
No
can lock
problem.
that in.
Then we got the big players. They sold their house in Connecticut, New York, Texas, whatever. Oh, not Texas, actually.
Right, yeah, not now.
A lot of people are going to
Right.
Texas. But anyway, they sell that big house, that small house for big money.
Right,
Up-
yeah. So when they get
1,000
that
square
money
feet
here,
for
it's
$2 million.
double the size of the home.
Then they come here, and guess what you can buy? You put $500,000 on a 2,000 square foot house. Wow, this is a
Yeah.
great deal. Boom, they get it. So that's what's happening.
So the Texas is part of the Sun Belt cities. They have Phoenix, they have Atlanta, Austin is one of them.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just came back from Texas in your cowboy boots. You got her amazing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Austin is.
Did you
It's
have a
the-
chance to check out any of the neighborhoods in Austin?
Yeah. Oh, Austin is just. Not exactly the downtown. You got to go outside
the
of
burbs.
Austin, and it's incredible. It's just the growth, the technology, all the top companies are all moving
Yeah.
to that area. But we wish them luck. Still, they don't have the beach like we do.
No, not at all.
Not Florida sunshine.
Got to come to Florida
They get
for
all
that.
the hurricanes.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have the screen supply next summer in case we do run into hurricanes, so our pools will be safe.
Yeah, just again, trying not to be negative. Just
Yeah.
Just
want
telling
to
you,
educate everybody.
Just telling everybody. And I'm one of those people that I passed on a couple of things,
yeah. And you're like,
and I'm like, I should have bought that, or I should have done that. I'm sure it's happened to a lot of our listeners,
yeah.
and it's going to continue all the way to 2024. I don't see this thing normalizing. So what I was saying is, when it crashed
Like in 7
earlier,
or 8. Yeah.
so the prices went up so high, then it came down, then it came back up, and now there is adjusted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a new base. So right now it's just going up, 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 up. And even if it stops, it's not going to drop like it did before. It might level out. It might drop in values a little bit.
But it won't be
But
as steep.
that will be our new base.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when 1945 you could buy a house for $1,500 or
Or 1999, 165,000, and now
You
it's
see, this is
400
what
and
happens.
something thousand.
So somebody one time told me, don't ever sell real estate. Just keep it. And it could crash, it could go, it will come back up, and it will beat all the numbers.
As you
You
anticipated.
just keep it. Just keep going up. But don't listen to me because we need to sell houses.
Yes. Oh, well, my friend, I think that will wrap up this episode for the day. Anything you like to say, Mr. T, before we head out the door for the day?
No, thank you. I look forward to doing this next week with you. I appreciate it. Anybody has any questions, please feel free. Consider me your go-to guy. just call. Do not hesitate. Any call, text me, whatever you like.
Absolutely. And you can check him out on YouTube, Wizard of House Podcast, Instagram, on iHeartRadio, Spotify, all of the above.
And my number is easy, guys. 386
299
8989.
8989. All right, everybody. Have a great one. Thank you again, Mr. T.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.